tells her the story of the original state. She's like, women were something greater than they are now. Yeah.
When they're naming water bodies in Buganda, they tend to be female spirits. Then I think that also tied into the title, a girl is a body of water.
Like I want to be like water. I want to hold ship, but like slip through fingers.
How they looked at education, while if you're a woman, you don't really have to study. All you need to be is beautiful. If you're not beautiful and you're not gifted in that department,
You need to study.
Education comes all.
So for me, that made me realize if we're going to have a conversation about how women should be treated, the men should be most involved in this, because if they know where they stand. Their wealth.
I want
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are watching. I am excited to have you all here. My name is Daniella. This is the Cover to Cover podcast under Soraway Africa, where we read books together. It's more like a book club. We read books together, books authored by Africans, and discuss them in detail at the end of the month and share with you our views, our thoughts, our raw views and thoughts concerning the book. This month, we happen to be reading a really good book by a phenomenal lady named Jennifer Nansubuga Makumbi. And the book that we're reading is The First Woman, also known as A Girl is a Body of Water in some parts of the world. And that's the book that we're reading. With me today are two remarkable ladies, personal friends, people I absolutely love and cherish, to discuss this book in detail. Ladies, please introduce yourselves.
My name is Melanie, and I'm so excited to be here today and discuss my most favorite book in the whole wide world. If you know me, you know I talk about Jennifer Nansubuga Makumbi in my free time, and especially A Girl is a Body of Water.
Hello, everyone. I'm like Melanie. This is my first time interacting with Jennifer Makumbi. My name is Ashaba Anita Ariavaha. I am so thrilled to be here, ready to give you my 2 cents in the book. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, ladies. Her personal favorite is this book. My personal favorite book by Jennifer is Chintu. I think it's her best work. I think that book was, if you haven't read Chintu, okay. If you haven't read that book, I don't know what you're waiting for, but Chintu is what introduced me to African literature and Jennifer Nansubuga Makumbi. I think she's phenomenal. And I really hope that by the end of this podcast, you will look into her work and all the things that she has done in the literature world. And so to get us started, I'd like to give you a few insights into the book. So The First Woman, or A Girl is a Body of Water, is a book about the life of Chirabo and the family dynamics, her family dynamics, the political scene at that time, tradition, culture, religion, identity. And so those are some of the themes that we're going to be discussing today, but that's generally what the book entails. And so firstly, I think it's important to talk about the outstanding ideas of the book. Ladies, what's your outstanding ideas that stood out for you? Or themes that stood out for you in this book?
I would say my first theme, the one that stood out among the many, is the theme of love. And love through different dimensions. The first love which we are introduced to is the one of Chirabo and her grandfather. Chirabo sleeps her grandfather's day. She calls her cabbage. They are so close and so friendly, which really talks about how grandparents love their grandkids so much. That's in my day. I both think I put in a lot of grandparent love.
Same.
But it must be true. It must be true. Feel free to tell us if you're called Kadeja. The second lens through which I see love is the friendships. Alikiza and Suita, who seem to be the two main women here. They care for each other so much. From school, from when they make that pact, which I think they could have thought through better.
Yeah. They were 12-year-olds.
Mm.
They were 12-year-olds.
They were from how they write to each other, the promises they make each other, and how even when they are not on the best, and then there's the scene of when Alikiza and Suita ran in the rain.
When they were younger?
No,
When they were older?
and they unlocked their younger selves. And Shirabo is watching them, and she's like, these women really love each other. And I'm at Shirabo and Jiwa. I think there's in some way mimic Anikiza and Suita, though it gets bumpy somewhere.
Yeah.
Shirabo and Sio. Shirabo and Sio. It's so silent yet so tense, yet so strong.
Yes.
What do you mean every time I see you going to carry my jury? What you say a word to each other that holds.
But we will know.
Yes, we will know. We will know. Even the time when he came to say bye to her when she was leaving for Kampala, it was so silent and so tense and so intentional.
Yeah.
Even till later when they start actually loud speaking, and then he says, "Oh, show me your," and then she shows him, and he also shows her. And oh, guys. And then the community of Natita.
Yes, please.
The love of community, which these days, because of individualistic, capitalistic tendencies, seems to be dying out. But how everyone shows up for top shooter from wherever.
Yeah.
People from Alikiza's side, from Mira's side, from Nambi's side, everyone.
It's also how in that situation, the village drunk somehow sobers up and he takes up so much responsibility, and it's so nice to see
Especially for Nambi's case, like the fact that he continued, after Tom's death, he continuously sent Nambi food and things to help her out as she's still dealing with this.
on her feet.
Yeah, trying to get on her feet. A village drunk, like someone people least expected to show up for Nambi, did, compared to people who are sober each and every day.
Also, let's not forget about Father Deo.
Father Deo
is first of all helping Tom finish his house.
I think that was
the one who is really taking care of Nambi and her kids. He cares for them so much. There's so much love in this.
I think for me, when you talked about community, it really stood out for me. I remember thinking, does this happen in today's day and age? Do people show up for people that way when people lose their loved ones? I haven't seen it. I don't know, but I've not seen it happen. And the way it does in the book, it hasn't happened, but it made me realize community is actually important, and we've missed out on so much. At some point, I felt like, why was it everybody like the 80s to see, to be a part of this, so that I could tell stories and
or even grown up in a village. Because I know people who live in villages right now, 2026. I think they still get that kind of love. My main idea, the view of feminism from an African point of view, from a Buganda point of view. I think so many times when we are listening to stories on the feminist movement, the stories I always hear of are, oh, white women matched. Oh, in America, this happened. Oh, here, this happened. But it's so nice to see that even within traditional contexts, people still value women so much. And then also, I think feminism from an African point of view, from a Buganda perspective, because a lot of times when we hear of feminism, all the things in my brain are images of white women marching for their rights. And then obviously those things came this side. But to see how one Miro valued education for his entire family, especially for the women, and also seeing how at the end, at Tom's last funeral rites, when the girls are able to talk, Auntie Abby is able to say no. Me, I think, as opposed to giving Tommy Jr. this, why don't you give Chirabo? She's here. Exactly. And then also seeing how the female friendships thrive so much. Seeing Sota and Alichisa, Chirabo and Jibwa, Auntie Abby and Chirabo. It's so nice to see. It's really refreshing. Yeah, I think that's my point of view.
Yeah, I think, and for me, just to add on to what you said, the whole idea of feminism seems to be a white concept. And even now, for some people, when you talk about feminism, it's like, oh, the white thing, or oh, you hate men, you don't get married. But they had a term for it, mwe kano kano. It was beautiful to see that even in that day and age, there were aspects of women emancipation and trying to have that inclusivity.
Let's not forget on that point about the story. In the beginning, we see Chiravo sort of saying she has spirit within her. And then when she goes to Suita, who is called the witch, and she's actually not a witch. It's just people think that she's not how to bend mirrors' attention towards her.
Men in general.
Yes, let she just lie like that. It's how she tells her the story of the original state. She's like, women were something greater than they are now. And then she unfortunately wants to get rid of it, or seems to have gotten rid of it. She ties it on a tree or something.
Yeah.
And Akusha says, I don't think we need to run away from the original state. If that is how it was, she'll be.
It was also interesting to find out how a lot of, I think it was Msota who mentioned how a lot of, when they're naming water bodies in Buganda, they tend to be female spirits. Yes. Then I think that also tied into the title, A Girl is a Body of Water, because Chirabo's original state, Bambi, it really disturbed her. And me, I think Nsuta didn't do anything. I don't think she tied anything. I just think Chirabo needed to believe that, it's going, for it to actually be going. Yeah.
And then for the title of the book, like A Girl is a Body of Water, it reminded me of the quote, what, like I want to be like water. I want to hold ship, but like slip through fingers. And so that's the idea of women, us letting women be, like they can easily slip out of our fingers. We can easily lose control over them. So it just shows like captivity. But anyway, my outstanding idea, there were very many, but the one that stood out for me was identity. I think in the book, first of all, from Chirabo, I was saddened, deeply saddened by the fact that the essence of her being was the absence of her mother. And she felt like this is who I am because I do not have my mother. And without her, I cannot, there's something about me that is missing. And yet she had so much love around her, from her grandmother, from Aunt Abby, from Suta, her grandfather, Tom, her cousins, CEO. Like she had.
But then, at some point her cousins weren't the kindest.
Yeah.
Because every time she would want to tell a story or hear a story,
they would cut her off. Yeah. They would. At some point, I feel like they were envious of the love that she was receiving from all these groups of people, especially Miro. And so that is why they would. I just think. But anyway, identity, and it made it. I was just sad at the fact that her whole being revolved around the absence of her mother. And I love that even in the end, when she did not reconcile with her mother, in the end, when she doesn't reconcile with her mother, it wasn't like elaborately mentioned in the book, but she came to an understanding that she is more than just not having a mother. And she has people around her who are, she began to appreciate the people around her that have shown her love. The other person is Nsota. When Miro first came to her and told her about how he felt towards her, Nsota did not let go of the dreams or the things that she had, because for her, her whole identity didn't revolve around having a man or being married. She felt like there was so much more that she could do. She could be a nurse. She could treat people. She could explore the world. Like there's just so much she can do.
Yes.
And she also had we can get married when I come back from school. When you also come back from school, I don't have to let go of certain aspects of myself for me to fit into the wife that you want me to be right now, who I cannot. And she followed and pursued her dreams. And for me, that was moving. Yeah. Ladies, we talked about different characters through the themes or the ideas that stood out for us. And I can already tell who your favorite characters are. But I want to know. Let the audience know because we know. Who were your best characters, or who was your best character and why?
My best character has to be Auntie Abby. Auntie Abby loved Chirabo. Auntie Abby was ready to lay down her whole life for Chirabo. And it's so nice to see, even at the end of the book, when Chirabo is telling her judges, I'll not just call them her judges, how she went to look for her mother, and her mother did this to her, her mother treated her like this and like that. And her judges told her, said, Chirabo, Auntie Abby is going to be so hurt when she hears this. In fact, don't let her know, because this chick has given you every single thing. Even when she came to town, she came to the city and she was in Bugolobi living with Tom and Nambi did whatever she did to her. And Auntie Abby just came, picked her, said, you're going to live with me. It's okay. So, 1, Auntie Abby, and then 2, Mama Chirabo's husband, Chirabo's stepfather. I've forgotten his name, and I've also forgotten.
The one that works at Nile Breweries.
Yes, the one who works at Nile Breweries. It was so nice to see him understanding Chirabo. Chirabo really came. He saw her and he said, you look familiar. I know you. And he really grilled her. And even when he found out that Chirabo is his wife's secret daughter,
He was so welcome.
He was so welcoming towards Chirabo, 1, and he didn't display any kind of animosity towards his wife. It's also nice to see how people in the book don't blame children for their parents' discrepancies. Yeah. So it was so nice to see that as well. So yes, Auntie Abby and Chirabo's stepfather. Yeah.
Who was your favorite character?
Next.
Yes.
Okay. I will first give the context of why Nero is my favorite character.
Mm-hmm.
In Natita.
Mm-hmm.
Natita.
Where is Natita?
Have
they changed its name?
No, because now in the book, I think it's in the East. Because in the book, they be giving context of the Basoga. Because I think Jibwa is a Musoga. I think it's the border of Busoga and Buganda. I don't know what district it is.
I don't know. I've never heard of the name.
Natita.
But when
Because
they would say Bugere,
Yes. Okay.
it's towards the east.
Yeah, and they also mentioned Bujiri,
Bujiri, yeah.
which is also in the
I knew
east.
those places, but when they said Natita,
And there's a stream in there. I've forgotten the name of that stream. Over Nancha.
Nancha.
So I think we'll just look for that stream, and then if you know where Natita is, please let us
know in the comments.
If we're also pronouncing the name, please let us know.
Yeah.
Forgive us.
So I really look at seeing someone comment explaining, like, if you could even draw, like, take a screenshot of the location, that would be so helpful. So in Nateta at that time, first of all, education was centered around education for women. Well, for men it was okay, but for women it was you only study. Okay, at first people would get into primary school to be baptized. So after primary, like once you've been baptized, the women are done. So you can like see the sacraments and everything. The second thing would be how they looked at education wise. If you're a woman, you don't really have to study. All you need to be is beautiful. If you're not beautiful and you're not gifted in that department, you need to study. Because education welcomes all. Like, go and do something else. The other thing is study. Miro, who is my favorite actor, does not subscribe to that school of thought. Miro educates all his daughters. Miro educates his granddaughter. Miro picks anyone around him and educates him because he knows to school. He knows people in schools. He's going to get every single person a place. Miro is progressive. Miro is the reason why the ladies are now introduced to the conversation that happens at the end.
Yeah.
And you know that men are still protesting. They're like, this is what happens when you bring women in. And they're so chauvinistic about it. And Miro is like, but wait. And I think it's for me that we need more progressive men.
People like that. I also love the fact that he didn't double down. Yes. He didn't change his opinion just because he's in a space with other men. He said, thank you. And he really just let Auntie Abby talk.
Yeah.
You talk. Yeah. It was so nice.
It was beautiful too.
And it's a thing of Even Miro's father was very
was like that,
controlling.
yeah. And I remember Nsuta's father resented Lutu for that. Like he felt like he was a little bit more welcoming to the Christians and the faith.
That Lutu
and Lutu,
rich from the Christians.
yeah. And then he felt like he was letting go of the things that they valued as traditional African Baganda men. And he was like watering all that down. But Lutu still stayed firm, and that he passed that on to Miro and all his other sons, Father Deo, Uncle Ndira. And you can see how they treat all the women in their family. So for me, that made me realize if we're going to have a conversation about how women should be treated, the men should be most involved in this, because they know where they stand. And it just helps to have a man saying something.
Yeah.
Were you?
Yeah, that is Miro.
For me, my best character was Nsuta. You guys, Nsuta is everything I want to be. Well,
Yes,
in some regard. Not like not in that. I mean, her character. She embodies values and principles that I wish I could embody as well. The fact that she can stand her ground, the fact that she can go against cultural norms, she can go against whatever, like just because every single person in the room is saying, you're going to school, you're going to continue in school, when are you going to get married? You're going to waste this beauty. And she was beautiful. Like I remember, I know how beautiful
she was described.
Yes. She was beautiful.
Slender.
Yeah.
Her glasses.
But I remember looking at her and reading about her and thinking, wow, it's hard for everyone around you to tell you about how bad the decision you're choosing to make is and how detrimental it is for your future, because you're not going to get married. But she wasn't going to let go of her dreams because Mr. Miro is going to get married and the man is going to what?
Miro himself was confused about what she was getting. Like, I studied, I can take care of you. I have to study.
You don't need a degree?
No.
Excuse me?
And I think she had that conversation with either Chirabo or Alikisa, talking about how, yes, it was Alikisa. Alikisa told her, like, why are you studying? Your father is rich. You come from a wealthy family.
Yeah.
And Nsuta told her, that's their wealth. I want my wealth. Yeah. I want to have something to my name more than just being Miro's wife, more than just being the beautiful Mukamiro, more than just being the beautiful Nsuta. And I remember thinking, woman, to be you. Yeah, so the fact that she allowed herself to be, she never held herself back, and she had that free spirit, which I don't have. So yeah. This is why we're reading right now. I'm still young. There's so much we can change about ourselves. So Nsuta was my favorite character for those reasons. Ladies.
Yes, please, Danny.
We have talked about our favorite characters. We've talked about the outstanding themes and ideas of the book. May I know who you relate with as a woman? Any character you looked at, any character you read about and you felt like, this is me. This is me, 9-1. This is core me at my, yeah. Ononze. We're going to try and mix in some Luganda, because that's actually something I want to commend Jennifer for. So one of the reasons why I love her and her work is, for most of the literature, we read things that are from the West, which is also what she talked about, like the feminism in the West, but we didn't know our own backgrounds, right? But Jennifer Nansubuga Makumbi, she brings her fiction home to life. You can relate. Like when she talks about a district somewhere around Kampala or a place, you keep thinking, oh, this was here in that day and age. I'm so sorry to divert to Chintu, which is my favorite.
But there's so many similar themes. I think it's very consistent in all her writing.
I think Jennifer has a thing for generational, because I remember when I was reading about Jiwa and Chirabo, And then I found out Nsuta and Alikisa were also that close. And then a man came in between them. And now Jiwa and Chirabu. And then a man comes. It reminded me of Chintu and how, okay, I don't want to spoil you. But yeah, like Chintu's whole lineage and how something that happened in the 18th century affected people in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Sorry for spoiling it for you. She's reading Chintu. But yeah, I have forgotten my line of, yes, our best characters and why. Oh, no, the characters with whom we related to.
The character I resonate with the most is Chirabo, our heroine. I resonate with Chirabo because Chirabo spent her whole life looking for her mother. Her whole personality became the absence of her mother. And at the end of the book, I don't know if she finally realizes, but her judges finally tell it to her with no corners. They just tell her, Chirabo, we love you. You're looking for someone, as we know why we've hidden her identity from you. Yeah. These things you've gone and you found out on your own, we already knew. We knew this is what she was going to tell you, this is how you are going to be treated. That's why we've been treating you the way we've been treating you. And I think so many times we spend so much time focusing on what we don't have and we forget to take in what we actually do have. Yeah, and it was so nice to see. I've said it's so nice to see so much, but you will bear with me. When you read the book, you will also see that it is so nice to see Shwali. That she finally got to see it. Her eyes were open to all the love surrounding her. Yes.
The character with whom I related was Alikisa. How she conforms to the standards of this world. How she just goes with the flow and reflects the limits that are put on women. I remember when they were talking about Nsuta and Alikisa's life story, okay, talking about how they grew up and everything about them, how she knew she wasn't beautiful. So she knew marriage was the only option she had for herself. Even when Miro came into the picture, okay, I know in that day and age, if they brought a man and the man appreciated you, did the girl have a say?
During Aliki's and Sita's time?
Yes, no.
I don't think. Okay, I think she did.
I think it depends on who your family is. Because Nsuta said, no, I don't want. I'm going to school.
Yeah.
Take your proposal.
Yeah, but Alikisa didn't have that liberty to just refuse. Also, it was Miro.
I think she wanted to refuse.
Yes. She liked him.
And they had the
yeah, the pact was already in place at
and
this
so because
point.
marrying Miro was going to be very easy for Nsuta to also come back into her life.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and also it was Miro, guys. He was the man of... He was it. So I related with Alikisa's character for those reasons. She did.
Also, in a point in the book when Nsuta is talking to Chirabo and she says, have you ever heard your grandmother's voice? She has a very strong voice. And she was like, no, there's no way. There's no way. She's so calm. She's so soft. And Nsuta is just telling her, no, she has a very strong, powerful voice. She's just calmed down.
Or even at the end, when they were dancing in the rain, which was a very touching scene.
Because they took off their clothes.
They took off their clothes.
Like staring at her grandma, she's like,
and she And I remember they described how grandmother Alikisa smiled. And I remember thinking, Ochirabo had probably never seen her
grandma smile like this.
And that's when I realized, but woman, why?
How much
limit ourselves
to accommodate other people?
Because I am a grandmother, because I have this respect that I am given. There are certain things I cannot do. Because I am Miro's wife, I'm Miro. Because I am this age. And so I remember that scene making me feel, I was moved. I remember thinking, we are more. We are more than just grandmothers. We are more, okay. We are more than girls, which I hate the phrase, I'm just a girl. But anyway, it's so limiting. And I remember I was grateful for the fact that Chira will let them be. She did not try to or even joining them. She let them, And I was also grateful. I really felt like I was going to die immediately after that because of how heavy. But I'm grateful she did not die. So Alikisa.
I think it also just goes to show how Miro was not the love of Nsuta's life.
Yes.
Miro was not the love of Alichisa's life.
True.
Alichisa and Nsuta
Nsuta?
were the loves of each other's
Yeah,
They
life.
just brought Miro.
Yes, he was
Because
just
it's a
a
societal
driver.
requirement.
Mm.
He was the gateway to them being best friends forever. Surely.
Yeah. It was beautiful. Like, we need more female. I don't like the fact that people think female friendships are toxic and cannot thrive.
Difficult.
And difficult.
Mm.
My friend, when you find that person,
There's a lot of women. I don't want. Okay, I would just say it as it is with like loser behavior. Because loser behavior is you being envious of your friend, you being deciding to put your friend down, you not wanting your friend to have what you have. The problem is loser behavior.
So
But if you're like in a space where it's women support women, like when let me say me and you wear the same shirt, it's not about
You're not
Who looks
copying
better?
me.
looks better.
We
It's
are
about
matching.
yeah.
Yeah, we're twinning.
I feel like if there's ever if we get it because it's growing these days, women supporting women. But if it grows even more,
We'll thrive.
we are all we have.
It's how they even shared children.
Yeah.
The original plan was to share children. Surely they shared
They
children.
share children and
Not to the extent at which they wanted to, but they eventually
Somehow they
shared
did it.
Chirabo extremely well.
yeah, and it was beautiful.
The child
Yeah.
felt like she was betraying her grandma when
Yeah.
coming there.
Yeah.
You haven't told us the character with whom you
Resonate with the
resonate
most.
Okay. So the character I resonate with the most is Nsuta.
Mm.
Very old thing. I don't think I am very conformist to a number of things.
Mm.
And Suta is fearless. She's a visionary. First of all, these people are like 13 something, 13 years what, like, and she's like, no, I want to become a nurse. I want Natcha to have a nurse.
She was a very smart. She is a very smart.
And you see it from even when they would play games, like Alikiza would be playing Mama. And Suta is like, bring the children here. Where's my children? Get this. And that just goes to show that she had always had the vision. And then she goes to the city and she finds a Nigerian man. I'm not saying much on that for me. But I like how she allows herself to explore. To explore what is always spoken of in euphemisms. It is fire. Don't go. It's very hot.
She goes there.
Put her hand.
Like how hot. But I like how she's not limited by society. Yeah.
She is who she thinks she is. The woman, the myth, the legend.
She is her. I like her. I want to be more like her. I something like her sometimes.
We can attest to that. Lastly, do you think the plot in The First Woman or A Girl is a Body of Water was properly executed? And if not, why? I think the plot in this book was perfectly executed. I know we talked about the different themes, and I think Jennifer Nansobuga Makumbi did that perfectly well. Identity, womanhood, patriarchy, Mwenkano, Kweluma. Yeah. We didn't talk about that, by the way, but anyway. And then I also love the fact that Jennifer, as a writer, takes us back into the pre-colonial...
Taking the words out of my mouth.
Yeah. The pre-colonial era, right? I love that she talks about how it was during Idi Amin's time. For example, what happened with Dr. Kawiye, which was really, really sad. And
how at roadblocks women would be raped.
But she
Still travel to go and see
CEO and survive. Like,
If she wanted to, she would.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Trouble wanted.
Yeah, and even in her other work, she still continues to do that. But anyway, we're talking about The First Woman. Forgive me for continuously diverting to Chintu. But even in the 1930s, when the colonialists had just come, and how the political scene was at that time: Christianity, mushrooming, Islam, and all these other religions, and how the education system was being cemented in the different districts around the world, but mostly Nateta, Bugerere, Bujiri. And then even later, how Idi Amin's rule and its scrambling affected different districts. I remember when she talked about ginger, she described it very well. I can't recall. But
after the colonialists left,
yes,
and they were looking at the remnants of what the houses used to be and how the streets used to look.
Yeah.
And now it's just a relic
of what it used to look like. And then most importantly, Jennifer also talks about the wealth in terms of what the West believes wealth should look like, and wealth in terms of our African traditional kind of wealth.
Wealth of the city and
wealth of the
Village, yeah.
So this is from the book. When everything the family owned was on the lorry, this is after Tom's death, and they're moving from the house in Bugolobi to Busega. I remember moving in this lorry because she described the routes very well, like from Bugolobi to Busega. But anyway, when everything the family owned was on the lorry, Chirabo looked at it in disbelief. Apart from the unfurnished house in Busega, Tom's wealth did not amount to much. The fact that it could be packed in boxes, loaded to a lorry and driven was disconcerting. You would never wrap up grandfather's wealth that way. Yet people in Nateta who lived in houses they owned, built on their own land, who produced their own food, had envied Tom because he spoke English, drove a car, lived in the city, and drank Cinzano. Chirabo's eyes began to open to the fact that poverty and wealth were constructs after all. Rural poverty was different from urban poverty. To city people, if you did not wear shoes and change clothes twice a day, you were poor. But in the rural, that was silly. Wearing a different dress every day meant that you were going to do a lot of laundry on Saturday, which meant fetching a lot of water. And yet, here was Tom's family with all the shoes and clothes, electric gadgets, expensive stuff falling back on grandfather, who neither had electricity in his house nor drove a car. But the way the world was going, people in the rural were beginning to see poverty from a city's perspective, while people in the city were beginning to see poverty through the Western lenses. And so I remember reading this and thinking, this is actually happening today.
True.
Many kids don't like the rural life because it's not cool or it's not convenient. I cannot remove myself from those people to some extent. But I remember this was such an eye-opener. This was such an eye-opener for me. I remember thinking, this is actually how we think if someone doesn't have an iPhone 17 or certain things that people look at today as what amounts to actual wealth. They're not wealth.
When people wear fake designer shoes, someone wears 4 stripes as opposed to 3. Your shoes are fake, but I think to someone in the village, it's their shoes.
Yeah, their shoes.
3 stripes, 2 stripes, 1 stripe.
Their shoes.
Yeah. Point is to cover my feet.
Yeah, and when she talked about the fact that Tom spoke English and people in the village looked at that as a measure of wealth or a measure of, or to say, because now you can speak English. Even now it happens.
Yeah.
There's so many people who don't want to speak their local language because you are fake. You are rural.
When you laugh at people people with accents, let's say you...
Yes.
I want to take this opportunity to let you know that it is backward. It is backward to laugh at someone's
with an accent.
It is backward to mock someone for not knowing English or for making a grammatical error. Because we should be proud, because this is who we are. I feel like so many things about ourselves can change, but you're not going to change the fact that you are black and were born and raised in Nateta, Kazo, Bulu.
And at the end of that day, it's a thing of now, where's your identity?
You know, as you grow, you want to resonate
with
a your identity. Yeah. Like even if you go wherever, there's going to be a place that.
What is your name? Where?
First of all, it's just more interesting. Let's say I move to Sweden. I don't want to be known as Melanie. Call me Abe. In fact, sometimes I have beef with Abe because the spelling of Abe looks like it can be an English name. I can be like, if only the spelling was so clearly actually. So I
that
just
you
I
could.
didn't
want a more
Name.
like you just go say, hi, my name is Ashaba. Hi, I'm Kaburara.
I actually introduced myself
As
Ashaba.
Ashaba. I never call her Anita.
It's also how Chirabo has no English names.
Yeah.
And when she was reporting for school, and she said, hi, my name is Chirabo Namiro, and then I think she's another name.
They asked, what the
They said, let me guess, either you're the firstborn kid, you weren't planned, or by your parents are born again. And she was like, oh, I'm the firstborn kid, I wasn't planned. Yeah, that's Chirabo.
I am.
And they gave her. Did they give her a name?
No, they didn't. They changed. She was Miro. They called her Namiro. Chirabo Namiro.
Okay.
Yeah, but I hope we can get to a time where some of these things are normalized and we can actually embrace our traditional names and only refer to. Can we name our kids only by the traditional names? Is it?
You see, the churches are not making it easy.
Yeah.
Let me assure you, I have had stories of people going to have their children baptized.
And the church
And you remember, before you baptize, you've had like many meetings with the parish priest and the service.
Yeah.
And there, at the pouring of water,
They give.
Another
name you,
name.
Shizito, Makumbi, Alozias. And disappears on your baptism card.
Yeah, and let your parents did not.
Don't want you to be.
I want you to know that if you have only traditional names.
Slay.
But anyway, yeah.
The one thing. Okay, first of all, I don't like that Tom died. But I understand that it was a chess piece in the game because a lot of things would not have unfolded if Tom did not pass on. So I recognize that, and the ability to use that one event to cause so many things had such a ripple effect. And then the only part that I did not like was the fact that Jibwa had resolved to stay as she is. The line that had me the most is there's girls like you and there's girls
Like me.
It pained me so much that in her head, okay, maybe not in her head, but she had come up with the division and the construct. Yet I know Chirabo would, in her power, do so much to get Jibwa either to the level that she was at or even closer, so that Jibwa can have her own standing. So to me, it signaled, yes, even if we are going to be fighting to lift ourselves up, but to empower each other and to not let anyone get left behind, unfortunately, there's people who are resigned to the fact that there's girls like me.
And there's
girls like you. Yeah. That made me so sad. I really hoped she was going to.
I was hoping they would be like,
she was so hard-hearted, right?
This was a bad different. And so in simple, that for me was the part which was so sad. Also, I did not want Anisa's friend.
Suta.
I didn't want her to be sick. Yeah. Why does everything?
But I think it was beautiful to see Alikisa notice something that even the doctors could not. Like, it showed me how far their friendship was. Like, I can tell even when she is unwell, and even when she's pretending, like a professional will not tell, but I will. And she actually told them. So even despite their how they had fallen out with each other, she still said, no, okay, there's a certain level of, like, there's where I can stop and at least let me care for her in this way. And it was beautiful.
So that means those are my thoughts on how it ended. It was a good one.
Okay, I think my notes on the plot, I think I have about 3. One, I love how I've noticed, okay, I've only read two of Jennifer's books, Chintu and A Girl is a Body of Water, and I've noticed how she really brings in the past. Like, there's so many timelines going on. And I love that so much because I get to learn so much of what Ugandan society looked like back then. So much I don't know of. I know somewhere in the book, she talks about how, like back in those days, I think this is when Suta and Alichisa were still very young, about how there was no breakfast or lunch or supper. It was, we wake up in the morning, we eat, before we go to the garden. We come back, we go to the garden, we walk, then we have a little snack. Then we come back from the garden, then we eat again. And also talking about the concept of time, how it was so mixing for you to be told, oh, now 1 p.m. Exactly. And then they know of time from the traditional perspective, point of view. Then my other point, notes on the plot. One, I wish they confronted Nambi earlier on, because they waited for Tom to die to come and say, you chick, as we have a zibo with you. You treated Chirabo like this, you da 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 da. And I think they were giving Tom space because it was his marriage, it wasn't their marriage. But Chirabo went through a lot.
Yeah.
It really hurt. Whatever went down really, really, really hurt Chirabo's feelings. And maybe those feelings didn't need to be hurt. And maybe she could reconcile with Nambi, because you guys, Nambi turned out to be her stepmom. Oops. Oops.
Oh my god.
Then also, I wish Nsuta and Alichisa reconciled earlier on. But everything happens for a reason.
The fact that most people wait until people die to realize,
At least in Suta Logic died.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for that.
But then it also seemed like it was one-sided beef. Because it seemed like it was only Alichisa beefing Nsuta. Like,
Nsuta was so chill.
she was so chill.
Beefing Chirabo.
Actually, oh my god, that time when Chirabo, when they had when she wanted to come and see Gibwa, and then Gibwa was acting some type of way towards her. Even at the Mario, she came dressed up somewhere like she came for a party, and I had CEO is around, and
Like, respect my father, first of all. Respect my man, second of all.
respect me.
Yes, most importantly.
I don't know why Gibwa was so angry with Chirabo.
CEO explained something. I can't even paraphrase. I don't recall, but I remember CEO explaining to Chirabo why Giwa turned out the way she was. Like, please try to understand someone who was in abject poverty, with nothing to their name, and with no future whatsoever. And now they've been thrown into this world where she was
with her mother.
She was with her aunt, who was a house help at
At
someone's house.
He was Congolese. I don't know, I remember something about Congo.
And so she learned small English.
And she was
in Uganda. So I understood where Gibo was coming from, like that elevation. She just didn't see. You said exactly this. She just doesn't know how to act after being elevated to a certain status, right? And I think it's important for us to remember where we've come from, and even when we've been raised to wherever we've been elevated to, we should be modest. We should be humble. We should be.
I guess she also didn't know better, because I guess Sio was saying these things because Sio grew up well.
Let's not finish this without talking about that cheating prick.
By the way, I don't know why.
Best friend.
I don't know why. Why did Sia sleep with Giwa?
Why? Because if you're telling me, okay, we are going to go to our room, I'm not going to ask you to like sleep with me, but I just want to see what it looks like, and then I'm going to show you what mine looks like, and then I think, okay, at that level we have respect for each other, and we are not going to do anything. What is your problem? Why are you with my best friend?
Right.
Why? Sia, why?
I really want to.
And it's how, even when all this happened, Triabo, Kwelumad, I don't know if that's a thing, she Kwelumad Jibwa. She didn't call Sio out enough, even when he came to her home, at Auntie Abby's home. And
She poured. Yeah, she did that, but I wished she had done
Called
more
out.
in Giwa's presence.
yes, and also Auntie Abby was also showing tendencies of beefing Jibwa.
Yeah.
And then it shows that,
men as well.
oh, but it's just innate in us.
Yeah.
Internalized.
It's just, even if you don't want to blame the chick somehow.
Because it was entirely Sio's fault. Okay,
Yeah.
both their faults.
But Sio knew
Sio
better.
knew better.
He knew better.
Sio understood what they had the most.
Yeah.
Especially now that Giwa had become the kind of person that she was at that time. He should have known better than to sleep with her.
And I think it's
Giwa.
also something Chirabo was insecure about.
Yes.
Because her best friend was, for lack of a better term, everything she was not.
Yeah.
She was brown,
her small
she was dark
legs.
skinned. She didn't have a big bum.
This one had
Had
a
a big
A bum for both of them. She was this, she was that.
And to see her sleeping with Giwa,
Just solidified
her insecurities.
had always been there.
See, should have known
Excuse me,
better.
guys.
See you.
I'm getting angry all over again.
Yes, we're supposed to get angry. We're supposed to get I just don't like.
And
Be
then,
respectful.
and then earlier on, I had mentioned how I was also beefing Miro because of the same thing. Yes, I understand Nsuta and Alichisa had a pact going on.
But already.
Okay, yeah. But then also Alichisa and Miro got married. And then Miro began sleeping with this one secretly.
Yes.
Just let me know. Let me know. Even this one, it's also a thing of Nsuta was everything and Alichisa was not.
Like,
Do you see how there's
Still in...
repetition?
Yeah.
Or like faith?
Jennifer, we see you.
Jennifer, we see you.
Yeah, we see you.
See you. It's like it's more like fate because everything that happens to these people happens to these people. Is it related? Is it
Maybe, you know what? That brings me to a point. Maybe later on in the timeline, Chirabo and Jiva will make men.
Yeah, I think they
Yeah.
will. I think
I
they will.
actually think that the last conversation they had, I think, showed they were going to be okay. They each had stated their point of view, and now I think they're just going to walk around the child and CEO. And the fact that she said she knew she might take CEO
Because there
back.
was a child.
Yes,
Jiva was pregnant.
Abla. Anyway,
It is one thing to cheat.
it's another two.
But let me ask you. You know, it only takes the one time.
I know, but it just and days.
Guys, I'm so sorry, but we have to
him
bring this to a close.
Oh, too soon.
This was riveting.
Yeah.
I enjoyed doing this. This is my first book club to belong to.
Same.
Also, there are quite a number of people that will keep bringing for the podcast, and I cannot wait to experience conversations like these. We'll be releasing something each and every month. Otherwise, if you've watched this far and you've not liked, commented, subscribed, shared, followed,
Turn on the notifications.
turned on,
Just turn it on.
please turn it on. Follow Soaraway Africa on all its social media platforms. Please share this video widely and enjoy. Talk to us in the comment section. Let us know what words we mispronounced in Uganda.
Yes.
If
Where
you've read-
Nateta
where
is.
Nateta is.
Your thoughts on that book?
Your thoughts on the book. What book you think we should read for the book? Otherwise, it was lovely having you two ladies here, Melanie and Ashaba Aber.
to be
And
here.
Ashaba. I love you both.
Love you too.
Until next time, goodbye.